storybook goal to reach the half-century mark.
The Carolina Hurricanes are proud to select from the Kitchener Rangers, Jeff Skinner.
Moved out for Babchuk, his shot, fought off, rebound, they score! Jeff Skinner, his first goal in the National Hockey League, and the Canes have tied it.
We're going to go with, from the Carolina Hurricanes, Jeff Skinner.
The Calder Memorial Trophy goes to Jeff Skinner.
The atmosphere will be off the charts. NHL hockey is back in the province of Manitoba as the Canes close out a 4-game road trip tonight inside the MTS Center. It's the first of 6 meetings as the Carolina Hurricanes face off with the Winnipeg Jets. Good evening, everybody. I'm John Forsland, and welcome to Winnipeg. The Canes have an opportunity tonight to close it out with a win and gain at least a point in every game of this 4-game road swing, but also the spotlight will shine on number 53, Jeff Skinner. And hopefully tonight you'll learn even more about him than you did last year. And I think we emptied the vault last year. I'll bring in my partner, Trip Tracy, who's been hard at work in terms of this, but let's talk about a serious note. Going into his second season, so many expectations when you win Rookie of the Year. He's handled it well, but what are the challenges ahead?
How do you continue to progress when you make such a big splash? And I think a couple of things to watch that I saw encouraging signs last night is the little things that he's doing, getting pucks out, getting pucks deep, details that you need to have to win on the road. He's always had a flair for the dramatic. He scored the first goal for the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 1, practically on his first shift against Tampa. He has a game-winning goal in one of the Hurricanes' 3 victories. He has 6 points in 7 games. His numbers, his minutes are slightly ahead of his torrid start last season. So that's all good. He's a great teammate. To me, that area, like last night, he came back into the slot area to cause a turnover, ended up in a good offensive chance. He got pucks out. If he can continue to do that, that -6 will turn into a big plus number in a hurry. To me, that's the challenge that this, stellar star faces at 19 years old.
There's a challenge tonight for his captain, too. This is the type of game I think Eric Stahl needs. He needs to break out in a big way, and history tells us against then Atlanta, he always did.
Well, his first game as the Carolina Hurricanes captain, he had a hat trick against the Atlanta Thrashers. A couple Saturdays ago on Saturday night, he had his best game by far of the season against the Washington Capitals, where he had 2 assists. And for Eric tonight, he's got, I think, a good matchup because he'll play probably against Enstrom and Bufflin. Those are 2 good defensemen, but their strengths are really jumping in, being part of the offensive attack. He doesn't have the shutdown guy that he had twice this year in Chara, or that he had, say, in a Myers and Regeer against the Buffalo Sabres. This could be the night for Eric to say, jump on, guys. The captain is going to guarantee 2 points back to Rowley.
The house lights will be up when we come back, and the spotlight will be, and it will be all night long, on number 53, Jeff Skinner at the bench with Bob Harwood right after this. In Winnipeg, as you take a look at the MTS Center, Canes and Jets for the first time this season during Hurricanes Live. The spotlight on our man number 53 with Bob Harwood at the bench.
John, thank you very much, Jeff. I've heard a lot of players talk about this setup as being tough. End of a long trip, back-to-back nights, the plane is warming up. Where does the ramp-up have to come from you guys?
I think from inside the locker room. I think we got a lot of veteran guys that have been through this situation a bunch of times, so they know what it takes, and I think a lot of us are just going to try and follow the lead and hopefully bring it from the start of the game.
I know you've said you want to improve defensively. Where's the starting point for you with that goal in mind?
I think just being more aware of where you are on the ice. You're positioning so much, especially with the speed and the size of guys now. So just being aware of where you are on the ice and sort of counting bodies and just paying attention mostly mentally, I think.
Jeff, it's the second year for you. You're 7 games in. Take us back a year ago to about now, and how much more you feel you have a handle on at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm just a lot more comfortable sort of mentally and physically. I feel stronger and faster over the summer, and I think just coming in the year, you're a lot more comfortable knowing where you are and knowing the situation you're coming into.
Jeff, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
John, back to you guys.
All right, Bob, thanks so much. Well, adjustments have been made today after a grinding game in St. Louis. Jeff Skinner and his teammates are good to go. A chance to close it with a big exclamation mark. Canes and the Winnipeg Jets opening face-off is next.
Analytics touch our lives in many ways, from day-to-day routines in our homes, in our cities, in our stores, banks, factories, hospitals, schools, and research labs, and around the world, in our governments, global agencies, and our businesses, and even in outer space. Analytics is at the heart of everything we do. SAS is the global leader in analytics, giving you the power to know.
Saving for our child's college fund was getting expensive.
Yes, it was. So to save some money, we taught our 5-year-old how to dunk.
Scholarship. Honey, go get him.
There's an easier way to save. Get online. Go to geico.com. Get a quote. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
See the show that has electrified millions of fans for more than a decade. Trans-Siberian Orchestra. A rock holiday tradition for a new generation. Sunday, December 4th. 2 shows, 3 and 7:30 p.m. at RBC Center. The power of rock. The majesty of classical. A timeless masterpiece. Buy your reserved seat tickets now at select Walmart locations and LiveNation.com. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
SEC, ACC, and Conference USA. It's on. Fox Sports South and Sports South.
Hope y'all ready.
It's a big skinny weekend. I'm a man of big band, big time, big plays, prime time, game day. All day, Dixie Way, Saturday. Next Saturday, Mississippi State takes on Kentucky at 7 on Fox Sports South. Then SMU battles Tulsa at 3:30 on Sports South. It's all part of Saturday in the South, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
On November 1st, DirecTV will stop carrying these networks, which means you will lose college sports on your regional Fox Sports network and much more. Get direct with DirecTV. To find other providers, go to keepmynets.com today.
We bring you back inside a sold-out, jam-packed MTS Center here in Winnipeg as the National Hockey League has returned for the first time since 1996. And now with a Star-Spangled Banner and O Canada, here's Stacey Natras.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, remove your hats, and direct your attention to the northeast corner. Please welcome Stacey Natras for the singing of tonight's national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, can
As the lights come up, we'll take a look at Brian Boucher giving Cam Ward a night off, his last appearance. A loss in overtime at Washington with 32 stellar saves on October the 8th. Ondrej Pavelec has played in every game but one for the Winnipeg Jets. He has their only win, and it occurred on October the 17th. It was a 2-1 victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins. The officials tonight, the referees are Kyle Raymond and Chris Rooney, Brian Galloway and Von Rody on the lines.
You can already see that Winnipeg coach Claude Noel has made an adjustment to try to get his top line going, as Wellwood will play with Little in the middle and Ladd. That had been Blake Wheeler.
Our Saturday spotlight is on Jeff Skinner. Sit back and enjoy this one. First of 6 meetings this season with Winnipeg. Johnny Oduya with the center zone on and off the stick of Brian Little. Tim Gleason now captured here by Randy Jones back out to center. And the line we talked about in Hurricanes Live, the one centered by Brandon Sutter, gets it started for Paul Maurice. Johnny Oduya for Andrew Ladd, getting a one-toucher from Kyle Wellwood that doesn't work, and now you see it come all the way back in the Canes zone. Brian Allen, Yuri Tlusty out to center ice, slammed in by Dustin Byfuglien. He just missed Brian Boucher with that one. Allen now in back of the veteran Boucher. Options off for Tim Gleason. Along the wall, a pinch here by Blake Wheeler, and it's carried out by Alexei Ponikarovsky. As the Jets take over, they go D to D. Toby Enstrom throws it across. The Jets were in the process of a change, so that pass didn't work, and now Brian Allen through the middle. Ponikarovsky over the line, he's in. He'll dust it off, change gears, center one, and it's forked wide off Byfuglien with Eric Stahl right out in front.
As we thought would be the case, Eric Stahl out against Dustin Byfuglien and Tobias Enstrom. That would have been icing. I don't think Boucher knew, because there is already so much electricity in the crowd.
Zach Bogosian will go deep in his own end. Played around the boards this way. A pinch by Carolina's Jamie McBain. Bogosian now wheels away for Mark Stewart. And now a slow developing breakout for Winnipeg, who is 1-4-1 in the season. 1-1 here. Carolina 3-2-2. Coming off an overtime loss last night in St. Louis. With a backhander off the stick of Jay Harrison, taken by Blake Wheeler. Mark Stewart goes wide. His shot canceled by Jussi Jokinen. And it's shot right back in by Stewart. And the Jets have to tag up here.
Brian Boucher was used in the preseason game here, which definitely helps in a new building, the fact that he has a game under his belt.
Tim Brent to an open corner. Brett Sutter broken up by Johnny Oduya. The back of that Winnipeg goal, hunting it down, is Randy Jones. He's played in only one game this season. Comes all the way back for Jay Harrison. It's gloved down by Brett Sutter. Now he locates the puck, and the Canes reorganize. 17:35 left to go in period one, just underway from a sold-out MTS Center. They're sold out for a long while. Now Sutter. That's Brett Sutter, knocked down on the play by Brian Little. Mark Scheifele, the rookie. Evander Kane over the line with a shot. It goes high over the top of Brian Boucher. Evander Kane now gets to it. Scheifele goes deep, broken up momentarily by Caberlet. Now Little again. Circles, holds onto it. Shoots one, blocked by Caberlet. Little gets it back. The pass picked off by Dwyer. And away go Carolina.
Oh, what a play by Dwyer. Great position and great stick.
As always, now Brandon Sutter in back of the goal.
No kidding.
He goes down. It's dug out by Dwyer. Behind Tlusty. Ladd got a piece of it. Little out to center ice. Andrew Ladd goes wide of Brian Allen, who throws up a roadblock. Gleason plays it along the boards. Wellwood inside they go with it. It bounces around. The pass from Ladd picked off by Tim Gleason, and out they come. Tlusty wide of Ondrej Pavelec. Loose this way. Brandon Sutter for Tlusty. Canceled a bit by Bogosian. And now taking over is Kyle Wellwood, as Winnipeg will start forward.
That was the improved foot speed. That first step defensively by Tim Gleason. He was challenged to work on that in the summer, and he has delivered.
Toby Enstrom goes deep. He'll club it down. Played by Tuomo Ruutu. Dug out by Stahl, and now Allen on the tape of Ponikarovsky. Stolen by Dustin Byfuglien. Through the middle, here's Jimmy Slater. Jets on a line change. Byfuglien now moves ahead. Carolina regroups. Hinging is McBain, a long spring pass that does not connect with Ponikarovsky. Bogosian has plenty of time. Now Tanner Glass, who's been an inspiring leader in the young season. Ryan Boucher out to plate. He turns it over. Good block by Jokinen, and the shot taken by Blake Wheeler. Here's Mark Stewart this way. Out in front. Boucher shuts the door, and it's carried out by Jeff Skinner. Moving up on a forward, Nick Antropov. Cutting. Shooting one. Good save by Pavlik. LaRose hammers one. Turned out by Pavlik. He'll melt it down. And we get a stoppage. And no, we don't. We get a goal. It squirts out. Pavlik thought he had it. Everybody stopped. But the Canes poke it home. And I believe Jussi Jokinen was in the mix along with Chad LaRose. And the Canes strike first.
Massachusetts native Chris Rooney, one of the officials working the game, was in the perfect position to recognize that this puck was still loose. What a move on the rush by Jeff Skinner, perhaps recognizing Antropov as a forward playing defense. Rooney is right behind the right side of the net here, and he saw this puck scribbled just beyond, oh, what word will I use, the keister of Pavlik. A referee could not be in any better position. And you can actually see there, it almost looks like
the Juice will get it.
Yeah, the Juice will get it, but you have to give full marks to the Carolina Hurricanes, the hockey cliche, playing to the whistle.
That's right, no whistle, keep going, and that's what they did. Pavlik tried to stay quiet, as a goaltender will, not move much, because that could knock the puck in. But Rooney was in perfect position right in back of the goal, as Tripp pointed out. And the Canes are off for the game's first goal. Brandon Sutter to the outside. It's whistle dead, offside.
Sometimes you see referees, for me it's like a player when he's struggling is on the perimeter, stays on the perimeter, and we've seen it. When a referee's on his game, he fights for good positioning. And there's no doubt about the fact that Rooney's positioning was perfect. Now, I think it has to be Jokinen's goal, no doubt about it. And again, I just give complete credit that the Hurricanes were not going to stop battling until that whistle was blown.
Jussi Jokinen, his second goal this season from Chad LaRose and Jeff Skinner at 4:40. Now Bufflin off a stick, off stall. Jimmy Slater. He had the flu. He did not play Thursday night in Ottawa. Glass, shoulder to shoulder on Thomas Caberlet. They go to the corner. They keep it moving in back of the goal. It kicks out. Pinching down is Toby Enstrom. He's tied up by Carolina's Jay Harrison. You see the four-man scrum. Slater with a shot blocked by Tuomo Ruutu. A loose puck. In control is Chris Thorburn. Shot ahead by Dustin Bufflin. Caberlet will send it to an open wing. Reading the play, Bufflin. Here's Thorburn holding. Shooting one blocked by Ruutu. And Carolina can't clear. It's held in by Slater. Now Bufflin turns. Lays it off, a one-timer by Enstrom is stopped. Rebound sent wide by Jimmy Slater. Slater again for Tanner Glass. At the top of your screen, Toby Enstrom handcuffing Thorburn. The pass was intended for Bufflin. Now they recoil.
Winnipeg doesn't think they've been shooting enough. An example there.
Evander Kane with a shot. Nice block by Jamie McBain. Mark Scheifele is knocked down. And it's cleared out again by McBain. Here's Jokinen, the goal scorer. Chad LaRose has a little bit of room at center. Good stick by Pavlik. LaRose again drops it off for Skinner. Skinner throws it across. Here's McBain. His shot stopped by Pavlik. They go for the rebound. They score! Jeff Skinner jams the front of the goal along with Chad LaRose, and the Canes are up by 2.
Our spotlight player, we talked in the open about how he's growing as a player. To me, he started this whole thing off. Watch as Skinner's going to get the puck here right inside the blue line. And I thought he was going to throw it at the net, but Winnipeg had those shooting lanes covered perfectly, and specifically defenseman Brad Stewart. So instead, he used his vision to find Jamie McBain, who was a right shot, perfect one-timing position, and then he drove the net. What a beautiful, patient read by Jeff Skinner. And we use this analogy all the time, John. It's like he looked at one receiver in front of the net on Sunday in the NFL. He was covered, so he went to the second receiver, which was the right play, the open Jamie McBain.
A quick night for Andre Pavlik. Claude Noel, we haven't even seen him yet, but we will see the backup goaltender, Chris Mason. There was some speculation he may even get the start tonight.
I can tell you that I think that Noel made a mistake because this is the third game in 4 nights for Winnipeg. They played in Toronto Wednesday, Ottawa Thursday, and Pavlik played both those games. I would think you use Mason in one of those games. and then you come back with your number one here at home. And so now you have Mason in a very awkward position.
They're going to review the goal to make sure it wasn't kicked in, I believe. It was a bevy of humanity in front of Ondrej Pavlik. It kicked off a couple of players. Skinner likely to get credit for it. LaRose was right there, hacking and whacking too. There's Claude Noel, first-year coach, coached the Manitoba Moose of the American Hockey League last year. Let's see it again from up top.
Okay, so you see Skinner coming into the play. Now, I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think that the referees in the war room in Toronto are just making sure. But we remind you in a gray area type call like this. No, first of all, I think it may have even gone in off an Atlanta player.
And that could be LaRose's goal if that's the case. This thing was really pinballing around. There it is.
Yeah, it goes in off the Atlanta player's left skate, I believe.
Evander Kane.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Thanks.
Either way, you're welcome. But let's take one more look from overhead.
There's Maxwell, there's Kane 9. There's the kick. Went off a skate for sure.
I think there's some chance it goes off of Maxwell.
Can you determine who? That's the thing.
Yeah, 49 in the Winnipeg jersey. I think it might have gone off of Maxwell's left foot. Either way, to me, why is the goal scored? Because Skinner makes a smart, patient decision at the offensive blue line.
All right, here's the call from Chris Rooney. There you go.
So I think it should be LaRose from McBain and Skinner. But anyways, I really don't get...
We've covered just about every player on the ice for both teams in that sequence.
Yes, well...
In terms of possibly kicking it in.
I think Maxwell gave the Hurricanes a shot of coffee. Maxwell House style.
2-0. All right. So it is Jeff Skinner's goal, and it comes from Chad LaRose and Jussi Jokinen at 6:43, and that is all that matters. So the spotlight is working out very well so far as the shot's taken wide by Blake Wheeler. Mr. Skinner has a goal and an assist. Wheeler now at the point. Delayed whistle, a penalty against Carolina. Mason gone for the extra man. Randy Jones looks it over. Blake Wheeler holding. On the outskirts now, they'll set it up with Johnny Oduya. He'll cruise the line. Lay it off here for Andrew Ladd. His shot, stopped by Boucher. Antropov has the loose change, and Carolina will finally get possession. We'll step aside with 12:24 left to go in period one. Wild start on a wild Saturday in Winnipeg. Two goal scorers so far. We'll see the goal scored by Jeff Skinner one more time, then the penalty to Jiri Tolusti.
Well, again, good things happen when you go to the net. After Skinner makes the good pass to McBain, that's where Skinner touches it, and then I think it goes in off of Maxwell. And now you see the trip to Jiri Tolusti. And the first power play of the game for Winnipeg, who scored on an early power play the other night.
They are tied for 27th. They are 2 out of 25 in the young season. Carolina's penalty killing right now tied for 22nd. Claude Noel said this morning they're just aching for something positive to happen with this power play. To be up against it because the Kane penalty killing has been so good of late. It's cleared out right away by Tim Gleason. And Chris Mason, who's relieved Ondrej Pavlik after the second goal was scored at 6:43. Directs traffic as they break it out to center ice. Dustin Byfuglien clears it in. Kyle Wellwood's after it. Enstrom at the point. Angling off the boards, off the stick of Brian Allen. Kyle Wellwood, Andrew Ladd, knocked down by Enstrom, and again scaled out by Jussi Jokinen. Enstrom had 41 assists last season in Atlanta. That led that team.
And part of what was at this stage of the season one of the NHL's elite power plays with Byfuglien and Enstrom manning the blue line.
Byfuglien now goes deep. From the corner over the stick of Brian Little. Yoni Pickett, Kyle Wellwood, Jay Harrison up the gut and out. They kill more time halfway through the first power play.
What a play by Jay Harrison. By the way, our spotlight player, Jay Harrison, has convinced Jeff Skinner to take an online psychology course, which he's doing right now.
Evander Kane Throws on the brakes, diagonally across, and a good stick by Eric Stahl as it pops out.
Yeah, we talked about Stahl in the open. You know, those are the little things that he can do even if he doesn't show up on the score sheet tonight.
Ponikarovsky through the middle. Will shovel it in the crowd. We'll get a stoppage, 30 seconds left in terms of this power play. Rex Healthcare with injuries and scratches.
Well, Zach Dalpe, of course, is not on the road trip with the lower body injury. Derek Jocelyn took the warm-up. He is available, has been working very hard on the sidelines. The big name for me there is Eric Fair. Came over from the Washington Capitals, had off-season shoulder surgery. He has begun skating and will be a big-time addition for this Jet attack when he is back probably in the next month.
Mark Scheifele, who scored his first goal in Toronto on Wednesday night, has just a couple of games to go, or they have to make a huge decision. Now Johnny Oduya over the stick of Alexander Burmistrov. Ben Maxwell back to the point. Oduya drawing a defender in Sutter. Tight turn by Burmistrov, their leading scorer. Good stick by Brandon Sutter. Settled down by Ben Maxwell. Here's Oduya angling a pass again for Maxwell. Johnny Oduya's shot fought off by Gleason out in front of Boucher. Turning with it is Scheifele, and Talusti's out of the box. Burmistrov with a saucer pass that spots Ben Maxwell. This is his first game of the season. Bogosian's shot, no problem for Brian Boucher.
Well, Paul Maurice, I mentioned Claude Noel on the other bench. I give an advantage to Maurice for sticking with his plan, which was to work Brian Boucher into this game, as opposed to, I think, maybe a little bit of panic in terms of how the netminders are being utilized with Winnipeg. But I also give him credit because I think he thought about juggling the Stahl line and the Jokinen line. And he decided not to do it. And you see that Jokinen line with Skinner and LaRose has been responsible for both Carolina goals. So sometimes better to stick with what you've got and be patient.
And skating jump, very good here in the outset of this game. And it's odd because you would think with the travel and all of that, people make a big deal about it. But sometimes the second game, you can have those legs even better.
Great point, John. Sometimes coaches get more apprehensive about a third game in 4 nights than they do in a back-to-back, especially early in the season.
Back-to-back, when you talk with the coaches, sometimes it's not a concern. Bufflin now with a shot through a maze out of the pile. Stick battles. Skinner and Thorburn. Thorburn on the target. Boucher shuts the door. Moving down the walls, Dustin Bufflin. Bufflin now sends it across, shortening up on his stick was Enstrom. Now Slater to an open corner. Delayed whistle, another penalty against Carolina. Thorburn along the boards. Given a shove by LaRose. Now Tanner Glass. Let's Thorburn do the work here. He hands it off for Glass to an open point. And with the empty net, 6 skaters out to get it done. 9:34 left to go in this first period. Here's Antropov over the line. Nick Antropov through the middle. Nobody home for Winnipeg, and now it's played again by Enstrom and played in neutral ice by Dustin Bufflin. Tanner Glass sends it back. Bufflin now in control.
It's like the Hurricanes knew that right now, Claude Noel called his team demoralized right now. It's like the Hurricanes knew if they could have a strong start, they could take advantage of that sensitivity.
We heard the penalty, and we'll see the penalty as we go to break. 9:11 left to go in period 1. Spotlight is on 19-year-old Jeff Skinner tonight. What do you have for us?
Well, I think we're going to start out with a man's best friend. That could be his dog, and that is KO. Like a KO in boxing, but spelled K-A-O. And like many hockey players say, is your dog, in this case KO, doesn't judge you, whether you've had a big night or whether you've had a tough one. Jeff is thinking about bringing him down to Raleigh.
He should. Ryan Little now along the boards. Sutter now tries to advance out of the zone. He's tied up by Dustin Bufflin. Chad LaRose has gone for tripping at 10:49. Winnipeg with their second power play. Now it's settled inside for Andrew Ladd. Passing lane taken away by Patrick Dwyer. Ladd with a shot. It's loose. Here's Bufflin. He'll shorten up on his stick. Toby Enstrom, pair of 39s, he and Patrick Dwyer. Out of that scrum, Ladd tries to dig it out. They poke it out. Wheeler back to the point. This way it's Bufflin. His shot off of Sutter and wide, and getting to it again is Ladd. It handcuffs Enstrom. Now the Jets go back and get it.
You know that picture with the dog where it looks like Jeff is almost dancing with KO? how many teenage girls in Raleigh and really in North America are jealous of that dog who would like to be dancing with him?
Here's Wheeler with a chance. The top of Brian Boucher's crease, and now it's cleared by Harrison. Out of play on a deflection. No penalty.
The Hurricanes forwards have done a heck of a job here in the first almost 12 minutes of getting in the shooting lanes to deny point shots from getting through. I mean, a really good job. Here's Wheeler, great speed. Like I said earlier, former Boston Bruin, was involved in a deal that, for Peter Chiarelli with the Bruins, really helped put Boston over the top, and that was getting a hold of Rich Peverley to help in the Bruins Stanley Cup run.
See the time left on this Winnipeg power play. Johnny Oduya gets it deep. Odd Karam mopped up by Boucher. Played by Wellwood. Back to the point. Here's Bogosian. Kyle Wellwood fronts the play. Lays it off for Bogosian. A tough pass to handle. The puck was bouncing. He gets it back from Wellwood. Give and go time. Wellwood again. Closes across. One pass too many. And now Burmistrov turns. Alexander Burmistrov. Nick Antropov. Going down is Jay Harrison. Kyle Wellwood. Zach Bogosian with a shot. Blocked by Pikkinen. Burmistrov scores! Alexander Burmistrov has been red hot. And the Jets get a power play goal.
Well, the Carolina Hurricanes play away from the puck was very, very good. Joni Pikkinen earlier made a heck of a play to deny a chance on the back door. And then his stick went to work again, and he catches a very unfortunate bounce. Goes off Pikkinen's stick and right to Burmistrov, and how about that finish? This is a player that was drafted just after Jeff Skinner in the first round. Not this past draft, but a year removed. And he has, without question, so far in October, been the Jets' best player.
He has points in 4 consecutive games, 2 goals and 3 assists in that time period now. So their teenager comes through, Alexander Burmistrov, with a power play goal at 12:32. UC Jokinen coming back ahead of Tanner Glass. Evander Kane, a first-round pick, broken up by Jokinen, turning, Thorburn. One-timer Stewart off the blocker of Brian Boucher. Moves along the boards. Now Kane goes to work again. He'll circle the wagons with Thorburn out in front. Turn away from McBain. McBain tries to stay with Evander Kane. Now Kane grinds to the corner. Back of the goal, it's Glass. Wrap chance denied by Boucher. Thorburn goes after the loose puck. Taberley now tries to clear, not out. Bogosian hammers one off Jokinen, and you see it come all the way back.
That's probably the third or fourth key block, whether it be short-handed or at even strength, there by Jokinen, by the forwards doing a job.
Tim Gleason. Brian Allen loads the gun. Mason makes the save, and now Kane has the rebound, and here come the Jets. Blake Wheeler given a jolt, a good one by Tim Gleason. Bonakarowski now off for Brian Allen. Allen eludes the forechecking of Andrew Ladd. Tuomo Ruutu knocked down by Blake Wheeler. In control, Tim Gleason. Angling off the board, Stahl hunts it down. Good hand-eye there, but it's broken up by Dustin Byfuglien. Away go Winnipeg. You're looking at Kyle Wellwood. Played in Vancouver last year. Ladd shot, stopped by Boucher, and Taberley recovers on Wellwood. Otherwise, it's tied. Stahl away for Ruutu. Ruutu with a shot off a skate, off Enstrom wide. Bonakarowski inside again for Eric Stahl, denied by Byfuglien. Bonakarowski one more time, off a body. Harrison has it at the point. Now he'll chop it deep.
Atlanta has gotten their transition game going here in probably the last 2 or 3 minutes. Remember, Paul Maurice said that was the single biggest bullet point in winning this hockey game, preventing Winnipeg the ability to skate.
Shots are 8-6 Winnipeg. Dustin Byfuglien comes calling, holding, shooting one through the goal mouth with Maxwell out in front. We're going coast to coast now. Here's Anthony Stewart moving in on Johnny Oduya. Oduya does a good job to elude him. Now it's Ben Maxwell through the middle. Another penalty against Carolina. We'll tell you about it when we come back. 5:11 left to go in period number 1. Brian Boucher doing his best to keep the Canes up by 1 as you see a mystified Paul Maurice. Winnipeg trails Carolina 2-1, and they're on the power play. Next. Brett Sutter is guilty of boarding, and here's why.
The Hurricanes took one penalty all of last night. They've already taken 3 here in the first period. You can see anytime that you see that 9 and Kane, in this case on an opposing player's jersey, it might as well be a stop sign. And Sutter still finishes the check. So that is the appropriate call. The discipline that was phenomenal last night has given Winnipeg a chance here in the first tonight.
Third power play, they are 1 for 2. Gleason will shovel it off the boards by Zach Bogosian down to Chris Mason. 5 minutes left to go in this first period. 2-1 Carolina on goals by Jussi Jokinen and Jeff Skinner. Alexander Burmistrov, who has the Winnipeg goal, to an open corner. Antropov is there now. Young Burmistrov will settle it down. He's guarded by Jokinen, who did a great job, and it's slammed out by Tim Gleason.
That's a couple of really good defensive plays and blocks by Jussi Jokinen with his stick. He may not be the fastest guy, but he gets there with his head.
Burmistrov goes deep. Harrison gets to it for Carolina. Bouncing puck and a tough one for Johnny Oduya. He'll backpedal in his own end. 69 seconds left in this power play.
And Jokinen wanted that penalty shot, and that penalty that he drew from Jackman in overtime last night.
Oduya clears it in. Joni Pikkinen gets to it. Tries to clear, not out. Blake Wheeler. Zach Bogosian. Andrew Ladd off a stick off Harrison. Oduya off a body, this time Pikkinen. Pikkinen with a backhand shovel cut off by Wheeler. Here's Brian Little. It's a hand pass and no further play. Maniacs, get your cell phones out for your chance to win a team autograph stick to celebrate Cancer Awareness Month from our good friends at Rex Healthcare. Simply text Rex Saves to 46988 and win right now.
Another good play by Pikkinen. The Hurricanes gave up a power play goal, obviously a few minutes ago to Burmistrov, but I think their penalty killing this year is night and day different in the way that they are taking care of things away from the puck.
Boucher handles that one. Brian Allen off the boards by Bufflin. Dustin Bufflin, Toby Enstrom on the points. Andrew Ladd, Blake Wheeler, and Brian Little up front for Winnipeg. Carolina, quartet of killers. Ponikarovsky, Stahl, Allen, and Gleason. As the Jets clear it in, Wheeler gets to it. Here's Bufflin holding. Shooting one, swallowed by Brian Boucher.
Good focus by Boucher because that was a timing screen, I believe, by the captain, Andrew Ladd, as Bufflin let go his blasting slap shot, and Brian Boucher got out and held on for a much-needed whistle. Let's see, is it Ladd? Yep, just coming in front.
Off the face-off, Gleason was taken down, and a penalty is called up top. Kyle Raymond making this call for tripping.
Boy, Gleason is playing every night like points are just as valuable in October as they are, you know, in games 72 through 82. That's just hard work. And again, I mean, that's, you know, I don't know if it's necessarily quickness, but I've spoken about it. Tim Gleason, in his year-end meetings, the team talked about losing a few pounds. He's always been in great shape, but being built more like a greyhound so he could have that good first step. Well, that good first step just made it a 4-on-4 hockey game.
Power play concludes. We go to 4-on-4 for a dozen seconds, then Carolina will have their first man advantage. Chris Thorburn, it squirts out as we see. Jimmy Slater's in control, he'll dump it out. So Wheeler is gone for tripping at 16:35, and Brett Sutter is released from the penalty box. Carolina to the power play. They are 14th overall, 13th on the road. Winnipeg is number 26 on the kill. Now Joni Pikkinen through the middle. Options off the stick of Alexander Burmistrov, and it goes out of play.
And with 1:30 left in this power play for the Hurricanes, their first of the game, you have to have an established shot mentality because Chris Mason did not start this game. And he could be rusty. I think he's made one good save since he came in. Definitely want to throw everything you can at the net. That's been the chief component in both Hurricanes' goals.
Two very odd goals. To the Hurricanes' credit, they stayed right with it. Big scrambles out in front resulting in the two markers. Jokinen knocked down. Carolina stays with it. A loose puck stalls after it between the legs of Stewart. He digs it out, but it's picked off by Nick Antropov, and away they go. Some open ice for Burmistrov. Guarded by Jokinen. Little toe drag doesn't work, and now Jokinen sends it back.
You have to remember, that Winnipeg was Atlanta last year. They know that play to UC Jokinen in transition better than, say, St. Louis would last night where it worked in overtime.
Puck is cleared out by Johnny Oduya. Boucher races out. Good choice. Caberlet. Go back. Winnipeg was trapped offside. That's why they recoiled. Skinner tries to go outside in on Bogosian. It rolls around. Ruutu's after it in a battle here with Johnny Oduya. Tuomo Ruutu sends it back for Thomas Caberlet, and it's chipped out by Andrew Ladd. 25 seconds left in the power play. They hurry in. It's LaRose. Ruutu sends it back for Pickenin. He'll move it this way for Caberlet. His shot is tipped on the way through and regained by Alexei Ponikarovsky. Back again for Caberlet. Ponikarovsky moves in, shoots one off a body, one off Oduya. Getting to it is Joni Pickenin back to the point. Settled down by Chad LaRose. He'll angle a pass that doesn't work. Oduya now in control. Wheeler's out of the box. Even terms on the ice. 1:22 left to go in this period, and a penalty is called down low.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Ponikarovsky for the high hit. Yeah, it was the elbow. Rooney was the neutral zone official. And on the near side boards, in reference to our broadcast booth, Alexei Ponikarovsky finished high. Let's watch it here. There you see 23. You know, some of that size differential with Johnny Oduya, but you could see that the elbow was out. And you can also see that Oduya was partially turned. So that's one of those situations where you have to be careful. And Paul Maurice's look says it all about the one detractor this period has been disciplined.
Yeah, 4 penalties already taken by Carolina in this first period as Brian Allen clears it out. 70 seconds left to go in the period. Shots are 10-6 Winnipeg, and now Enstrom lays it off for Alexander Burmistrov. He'll stop on Sutter. The pass an errant one. They regroup. Dustin Byfuglien, Toby Enstrom, Burmistrov, Antropov, and Wellwood up front. Wellwood is dogged by Dwyer. Now Antropov down the boards. Here's Enstrom at the point. Dustin Byfuglien will look it over. He'll walk the line. Enstrom now hinges. Toby Enstrom with a shot. Fumbled by Boucher and poked wide by Antropov. Antropov now broken up by Gleason. Not out. Burmistrov. One-timer underneath it. Byfuglien. Good stop by Boucher. It's loose and dug out. Play will continue. Wellwood. Now Enstrom. Kyle Wellwood holding on to it. Enstrom a one-timer wide of Boucher. 18 seconds left in the period. Here's Dustin Byfuglien. Poked off his stick momentarily. Burmistrov in the corner, peppered by Allen. Antropov for Wellwood. Wellwood holding on to it. With a seam pass broken up by Gleason. 5 seconds left in the period. Enstrom's shot blocked. Gleason goes down. He's injured. They score! Kyle Wellwood at the side of the goal. And we're tied.
Well, it goes without saying that the end of the period could not come fast enough for the Hurricanes. They were exhausted, and that's even prior to Gleason getting hit with that shot and going down. Enstrom with the shot. I'm not sure what it hit in front beyond Tim Gleason. And Kyle Wellwood, Tim Gleason's junior teammate with the Windsor Spitfires, ends up getting this puck from Nick Antropov. What a play by Antropov. You see Byfuglien, the defenseman, way down low. I looked at the score clock right as that puck went in, and unfortunately for the Hurricanes, it looked like there were definitely seconds to spare. And it's a good goal.
So Kyle Wellwood, his 3rd goal of the season, and again, this is a team that had only 2 power play goals all year coming in. They're now 2 for 4, and the Canes obviously have to stay out of the box.
No doubt about it. 2 rangy bodies there in front, Byfuglien and Antropov. That's an outstanding feed there from close range. Antropov to Wellwood for the goal.
Shots 13 for Winnipeg and 6 by Carolina. The Canes score early twice. Goals by UC Jokinen and Jeff Skinner. But the Jets come storming back. They get goals by Alexander Burmistrov and Kyle Wellwood, both on the power play to tie the game. So level ground here in Manitoba. Bob Harwood has the RBC Bank first intermission right after this on Fox Sports Carolina. Tonight, Winnipeg, Manitoba for the first time. Carolina and the Jets tied at 2. We'll take a look at all the goals And the Canes keep working and get an early one here from Jussi Jokinen.
Well, the same line up front responsible. What a play by Skinner there to get the initial shot on Antropov before playing defense and then just getting to the front of the net. Skinner hung around. In the words of Andrew Ladd, the captain of Winnipeg, he has a complete willingness to go to those dirty areas, and so too did Jokinen, and the Canes are off and running, to use your word, John, or words. And then Skinner, great play to McBain. An assist, as Bob mentioned, has been given to Jamie. And then Skinner follows up his pass to McBain by going to the net. I think that puck actually goes off of Winnipeg's skate.
The Jets had 4 power plays in the period. The first goal from Alexander Burmistrov.
Yeah, the Hurricanes' discipline got away, and Burmistrov on a broken play, puck went off Pitkinen's stick. What a finish that was for his second of the year. Watch Bufflin here. It's a good play, I guess, if you get away with it. A little bit of a cross check to Brian Allen, and then Nick Antropov, who was a teammate of Kyle Wellwood with the Toronto Maple Leafs, with Paul Maurice, rekindled that little romance to tie the game with 2 seconds to play.
You see the summary deadlocked at 2 after 1. Papa John's is cheering on the Canes to victory. The real winners are the Caniacs. With a win tonight, all Caniacs receive 50% off their menu-priced online order tomorrow at participating restaurants at papajohns.com. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
We do have one other category I think we'll be bringing it to you momentarily about the fact that Winnipeg is now Winnipeg and not Atlanta. You and I had a little gentleman's bet as to who would slip and call him Atlanta more. And right now, John is beating me. 2 references
there it is.
In the first period to Atlanta. Well, you know I'm always in a Georgia state of mind, so I got some catch up to do.
You've put the hex on me now. Thorburn for Winnipeg sends it back. John Forsland, Trip Tracy, Bob Harwood, along with our fine crew, working hard in this back-to-back situation. Canes got in around 2 a.m. Central Time. Nestled in for the night after playing in St. Louis last evening.
I think if you say Thrashers, not Jets, though, it should count 2 points.
Stop it, Trip. Just please. We're in the spotlight. Saturday situation tonight with Jeff Skinner, our first one of the year. We're taking you inside the story of number 53. What do you have?
Well, 4 sisters, twins as we've spoken before. Andrea, who played at Cornell, Jennifer, who played at Harvard. Jennifer involved in Habitat for Humanity, and sister Jennifer also tutored male inmates at a Massachusetts prison while she was at Harvard. His brother Ben currently plays for the University of Waterloo. I believe he's out right now, coming back from a concussion. Boy, he and Jeff are truly best friends, his brothers.
Terrific family. I mean, the support system, the families always support each other. The Skinners take it to another level. It's cleared ahead. Allen for Skinner. Jeff Skinner over the line, tries to move it on Zach Bogosian. He plays it well, plays it along the boards. And the Jets get it back out to center ice. Antropov knocked out of midair by Burmistrov with a tight turn now. He'll saucer it deep. Ryan Allen readies for a hit from Nick Antropov. Jokinen deals away for Chad LaRose, and out they come. Johnny Oduya, the former New Jersey Devil, will settle it down. He was a big part of that swap involving the New Jersey Devils, Ilya Kovalchuk, then in Atlanta.
And that's the proper use of the word Atlanta. Well done, John. But Oduya, here's the difference in the media in Atlanta versus Winnipeg. Oduya, it's been written about in the paper the last couple of days that he's serving pizzas with anchovies on them, being turnovers. That wouldn't happen in Georgia.
Here they are.
Well, I can tell you in the middle, that's Jennifer at Harvard. On the right is Andrea. Then you see Ben, he's at Waterloo. He was a teammate at one point of Jeff's. Erica finishing up at Carleton University in Ottawa. And Jillian will be determining a university next year.
All those names are beautiful, but I really like Erica. Now here's Wheeler.
Of course you do.
Finished off by Gleason. Inside it goes. Ladd now holding onto it. Centering pass off a couple of sticks and back out to center ice.
And do you want to tell people why?
No, I don't, but I'm sure you will. Now, a loose puck as Patrick Dwyer gets it deep.
Well, you have a daughter, dear friend of mine by the name of Erica. Heck of a dancer, Erica.
There you go.
Who resides in the peak of good living, Apex.
Where I'll be tomorrow for most of the day. Relaxing. Now it's chopped ahead by Caberlet that comes all the way back. 7:35 left to go in this second period. Deadlocked at 2 here in Winnipeg. Randy Jones Off a body, hit a teammate, Brian Little, on the way through. Brett Sutter goes after it for Carolina. Along the boards now, Little ahead for Blake Wheeler, and out they come. Wheeler will barrel down the right side. Out in front, a loose puck, and Caberlet will cover up for the Canes and scoop it out of harm's way.
A good play away from the puck by Jay Harrison. Tying up the stick. They're right, actually within the crease.
Now the Jets out to center ice, chipped ahead by Evander Kane. Getting to it is Jamie McBain. Smart reverse up the wall, and here come Carolina through the middle. It's Eric Stahl to the outside. His shot wide of Chris Mason. Relieve the starter Andre Pavlik early in the first period. Route 2 holding onto it with Stahl out in front. Defended well by Winnipeg, and out they come. Kane in a battle here with Tuomo Ruutu. Carried by Mark Scheifele, who's tripped up. Pona Karofsky then pummels him, and Pickenen has it.
Well, Scheifele, as you mentioned, at some point it will be determined, will he stay here or go back and play for a guy by the name of Dale Howardchuk in Barrie in the OHL.
They had a big organizational meeting today led by their general manager Kevin Cheveldayoff to determine that. Skinner now cutting with a shot fought off by Mason. Played here by Chad LaRose. They grind a cycle. Harrison shot wide of Mason. This way it's Thomas Caberlet. Inside it goes for Skinner. One toucher off the back of the net. Defended by Enstrom. Thorburns after. Good pinch by Harrison. Enstrom now in the corner. Picked off by Skinner. Jeff Skinner. A little pirouette out of that corner. Stays with it. So strong on the puck. Now Stahl. This way Caberlet. Harrison wedges one wide of Mason. Here's a chance. LaRose with a shot. Stopped by Mason. He sweeps it along. And right now Winnipeg in survival mode as Slater tries to get it out. Caberlet broken up by Jimmy Slater. And they finally get it out to neutral ice. Here's a breakout. Slater, the trailer is Bufflin. His shot, scores! Jimmy Slater along the ice. 3-2, Winnipeg.
Well, I'll tell you, Eric Stahl was on the ice for a long time. And because he was on for so long, Sutter came on to try to help out Harrison. Not Jussi Jokinen, the typical centerman for Skinner and LaRose. And by the time Harrison recognized that Sutter had gotten back to take the open man, he couldn't prevent the shot from getting through. And Jim Slater was able to find a real opening low on Brian Boucher. But that gets back to, even though you have the puck in the offensive zone, I think the captain would prefer to take a shorter shift. And that transition game, the Paul Maurice Beard from Winnipeg scores a goal.
Third goal of the season for Jim Slater. 28-year-old veteran, right along the ice.
Well, at the end of the day, you know, Brian Boucher would be the first to tell you he'd like to come up with this puck. Looked like he flicked his stick, which goalies will do to try to control the rebound before the puck actually gets there, and if you flick it, it can beat you between the legs. But Harrison was waiting for Sutter to come off the bench, otherwise he would have played Slater a lot more aggressively.
Tanner Glass gets the assist, the only one at 4:29 on Slater's third. Puck is touched up, icing is called, 15-11 left to go in the second period.
I think the look on Paul's face says it all, that the Hurricanes have done some things in this game that they just haven't done recently. They've had a parade to the box, and I've really admired their taking short shifts, especially in the second period, and their stall being on so long, I think really impacted the goal.
The Sutter line comes out. It goes off the stick of Tim Gleason. It goes out of play. Shots are 14-7 Winnipeg.
Paul Maurice has still got to feel pretty comfortable about the fact that, yeah, he had a 2-0 lead, but a lot of things have been head scratchers, and still one shot will tie the hockey game. Here he comes out with his fourth line that, because of all the penalties, barely played the first period. Brentwood Sutter and former Thrasher, not Jet, Anthony Stewart.
Well done.
Thank you, John.
Very well done. Now, Randy Jones out of the corner, moved off. Johnny Oduya sealed off by Brett Sutter. Anthony Stewart's after it. Puck is left there. Oduya along the board. Stewart working hard for Carolina. Johnny Oduya gets back up. Grinding is Stewart. Stewart stays with it. The puck is there for the taking. Anthony Stewart now has control. Inside for Tim Brent. Brent centers one. Stewart couldn't find the handle. Here come the Jets out to center ice. Andrew Ladd for Blake Wheeler. It rolls in on Brian Boucher. Now the Jet captain Ladd One-timer Bogosian kicked out with a purpose. Now it's played by Mark Stewart. Ryan Little off the stick of Brent. Blake Wheeler back to the point. Corralled by Mark Stewart. He'll shove it ahead for Wheeler. Broken up by Brent. Anthony Stewart sails it back out to the center zone where it's manned by Zach Bogosian. Just about 6 minutes gone in the second period. John, Tripp, and Bob with you. You're on Fox Sports Carolinas. Canes are home Tuesday night. Ottawa Senators in town. You can see it right here. Andrew Ladd shot. Scores! It bounces in on Brian Boucher. Good fortune for the Jet captain. 4-2. Winnipeg.
Paul Maurice is talking to Tom Barrasso right now, John. And I think he's asking Barrasso, what do you do in this situation? You can consider a change. There is absolutely nothing that Brian Boucher can do here. Wow. What a bounce. That's better than any tip with traffic that you will ever see. That would be the true home ice advantage for Captain Andrew Ladd and the Winnipeg Jets to have a puck hit a run in the ice like that.
Well, I think you stay with him. I mean, in this situation here, I'm not sure you need to put Cam Ward in. They're going to call a timeout. There are other things in the team game that need to be adjusted to. And Brian Boucher hasn't played since October 8th, so for me, I say leave him in.
And Brian Boucher's body of work has been so good. I mean, his preseason was probably the best on the entire Carolina Hurricanes roster, including a sterling performance here in Winnipeg. And when Paul Maurice is afforded the ability to look at that replay between periods, he'll see that no goalie on earth could have made that save.
Right.
Hey, you know, the only goal that Boucher would like to have back of the four is the one scored by Slater. But I still think Paul Maurice, you know, turned to his goaltending expert and assistant coach Tom Barrasso and said, what would you do, Tom? Because he's the expert in the field.
That's right. Gabriele now moves it off for Ponikarovsky. Eric Stahl broken up by Tanner Glass, who played last season in Vancouver. Austin Bufflin moves it off. Here's Toby Enstrom. Away now for Glass. Back out to neutral ice. Gabriele turns it over. Broken up by Glass. They'll throw it right back in the Carolina zone. So the Jets have come all the way back from 2 goals down to take a 4-2 lead. Harrison off a stick. Glass keeps it deep. Caberlet now for the Hurricanes out of the corner. A good read by Bufflin. Caberlet now finally off for Stahl, and out they go. Eric Stahl moves it by Kyle Wellwood, who sends it back for Tobias Enstrom, and here he comes. He'll wheel out to center, open ice. Ben Maxwell over the line, but Mark Scheifele was offside. 12:59 left to go in the second period. And the Jets have exploded for a couple of goals here in this stanza. Jimmy Slater and then Andrew Ladd. 4-2 they lead. We're back here in Winnipeg. We did not take the normal commercial break. And a loose puck. Boucher's after it. Shot taken by Mark Stewart. Out of the corner. The Jets get it deep. Antropov tied up by LaRose. Antropov in a battle here. Sets up a man alone. They score! Evander Kane left all alone in front of Brian Boucher. 5-2 Jets.
Well, unfortunately, the original point shot was not swallowed by the Carolina goaltender. And then Winnipeg gets something that they have done better and better as this night has gone along. They've gone to the trenches of this rink and come up with pucks. You had Kane, and then you had Antropov. Kane actually first is able to fight off Skinner, and then Pickett coming in is able to work the puck to Evander Kane, who really in a lot of ways started the whole play. And that's Kane's first goal of the season. A real slow start for the former Western Leaguer. That's a big goal for him.
He's had an injury, and he's played through it. Evander Kane, first round pick, 4th overall in 09, has made it 5-2. Winnipeg. Oduya in the shove by Brandon Sutter. Doing a rough ride. It's dug out by Dwyer. Dwyer centers off Randy Jones. Fielded here by Brian Allen. Yuri Taluski for Patrick Dwyer. Broken up by Randy Jones. And out they come. Ben Maxwell Cushions that one off the glass. Nick Antropov and Mark Stewart get the assist on the goal at 7:30. Jets up by 3. Stahl tries to move it by Maxwell. Along the boards, Tuomo Ruutu met by Kyle Wellwood. He'll shove it past Gleason. Scheifele's after it. Caberlet now will cut in back of his own goal. Here's Alexei Ponikarovsky. Sidestepping a hit from Dustin Bufflin. Toby Enstrom. Forechecked by Eric Stahl. Enstrom along the boards by Tanner Glass. No icing. As it comes all the way back, a foot race. Boucher can't play it. Thorburn will. This way for Jimmy Slater. Helping out is Ponikarovsky, and he sidesteps a big hit from Tanner Glass. Now in the center zone, Caberlet will help it along, and he's given a shove by Slater. Just about 9 minutes gone in the second period. Skinner moves it by Thorburn. Delays, holds onto it. Good save by Chris Mason. Little disturbance. And we'll take our break now with 10:54 left to go in the second period. Winnipeg 5, Carolina 2. Our Spotlight Saturday continues. Jeff Skinner's family. We talked about the support system. Here's a great quote here from his dad.
Andy Skinner says the selfless manner that Jeff and his brother Ben and his sisters care about each other and support one another is perhaps the most rewarding part of being a parent. As all hockey parents do, Andy and Elizabeth Skinner have made those sacrifices for their kids, and they have 6 very special kids as a result.
Andy Skinner with the Geico quote tonight. Antropov has room with Kane. Holding. The lane taken away by Pickett, and a rebound chance goes wide. Burmistrov. As the Jets are coming in waves, Jokinen throws it across. A read by Burmistrov. Out to center ice. Burmistrov going after it, and now McBain. He to Joni Pickinen. Through the middle off the stick of Skinner. Jets come back. Evander Kane now chipped by Skinner back out to center ice. The Canes only have 3 shots on Chris Mason in the second period. As we're just about halfway through the contest, it was 2-2 going into the second period, and 3 unanswered goals by Winnipeg. As it caroms off the boards behind Brian Boucher, and it's covered up here by Brian Allen.
To continue with Jeff's father Andy's words, he said that when Jeff's brother Ben was 12 years old, I believe that's Ben right up here, he was asked in school to write an essay on the most influential person or people in your life, and he wrote it about his older twin sisters, Andrea and Jennifer. Spoke volumes about kids looking up to their older brothers or sisters. And Ben, who is playing in university in Canada, has never had a jealous bone in his body about Jeff's success.
Brian Allen, Brian Allen loses his stick, tries to get it out. Wheeler dangles it back. Oduya with a shot wide of Boucher, played by Andrew Ladd. Ladd now sends it deep. Blake Wheeler has Brian Little out in front. Leeson breaks it up. A loose puck, and they're winning all the battles. Here's Wheeler. Blake Wheeler back to the point. Randy Jones holding. Shooting one, looking for a tip. That doesn't work, and now it's Pat Dwyer. Patrick Dwyer for Carolina. Yuri Taluski over the line, goes wide, but it's offside. 9:12 left to go in the second period. The Canes down by 3 in the Peg. Brian Boucher grinding through a personal struggle here tonight, fighting through it, as the Jets have scored 3 times in this period.
Well, the biggest goal of the game for Winnipeg is the one that Wellwood scored with just a second and a half to play in the first period. And they use that as momentum. Slater's goal in transition, then the ridiculously odd bounce from Captain Andrew Ladd, and then dominance down low from Kane and then Antropov. And Kane, who really needs to have a next step type season for Winnipeg to have success, gets his first goal of the season.
Stahl, Ponikarovsky, and Ruutu come out for Carolina, with Harrison and Caberlet back. Awaiting the pass is Tanner Glass. Winnipeg back out to center ice. Fanned on by Jimmy Slater, regained by Stahl. Stahl turning away from Tanner Glass. They need something out of this big line, and the time is now. Comes all the way back. 8:50 left to go in the second period. Caberlet away for Ponikarovsky. through the middle of the ice. They'll throw it across for Caberlet, and here they come. Caberlet over the line, turns, lays it back. Route 2 holding, looks for a lane. His shot at the side of the goal, off the outside of the goal post. Stahl had the chance. Here's Harrison, his bid. Pinballs wide. Route 2. Onikarovsky off a stick off Slater. Stahl works Enstrom. Now Bufflin. Bufflin and Stahl. Route 2 lends a helping hand. Stahl wraps it out in front. And a penalty is called. Good work. And the Canes now go to the power play.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. More than ever, this big line needs to find some mojo, and Eric Stahl knows that he needs to find.
Winnipeg penalty number 39, Julian Poland.
And Stahl nearly scores, and then on the follow-up, they draw a hold from alternate captain Tobias Enstrom. Watch Enstrom. Let's watch where the penalty occurs. You see where Stahl nearly scores. There's the use of the free hand on Route 2 below the goal line. This would be, you would almost have to think at this stage, a must power play, the Canes' second of the night.
Holding penalty as it trickles in on Mason right off the face-off. 11:42 is the time. Second power play for Carolina. Loose puck. Boucher got to it ahead of Vermistrov. As we see, has it again. What a game this kid has had tonight. Alexander Vermistrov putting on a show. It's broken up by Caberlet, and out they come. Pickenin on the tape of Jokinen. Good pass for Skinner, who tees it up, blocked. Going down was Mark Stewart. Skinner cuts, delays, shoots one that goes high on a deflection. Mark Stewart tried to get back up for Winnipeg. He's injured.
There's no doubt that Skinner has been electrifying tonight. He's got a couple of points, and he has been very patient. Here he waits for, well, he tries to wait out Stewart, and Stewart makes a heck of a block, but then he thought about going to LaRose, I think, on the back door, but then decided to take it himself to the house and nearly scored. Stewart to the dressing room.
Winnipeg down a D. We saw Mark Stewart go to the room. It comes all the way down to Brian Boucher. See the time left on the Kane power play. Thomas Caberlet through the middle. Lays it off for Eric Stahl. Stahl over the line, plays it to himself. He's all over Johnny Oduya. Zach Bogosian now has control. Flushed out a bit by Skinner. Loved down by Pickenin. And it's tipped back out to neutral ice where it's shot deep by Andrew Ladd. Under a minute left to go in this Carolina power play. Shots are 17 Winnipeg, 10 Carolina. As the pass from Caberlet intended for Skinner doesn't work. Thorburn is on it. Chris Thorburn. Just spin it all the way back in Canes ice. Caberlet ahead of Slater. Thomas Caberlet now from his own end. In full flight is Tuomo Route 2. Route 2 over the line. Walks in, goes wide, shoots one. And hanging onto that post is Chris Mason with the puck. The next Carolina Alehouse Cool Bars will be in Cary on Tuesday night, November the 8th. The Canes are in New Jersey. Join your fellow Caniacs along with Stormy, the Eye Care Associate Storm Squad. Log on to CarolinaHurricanes.com for more details.
Route 2 was ultra close there to finding an area between the short side post and Mason. Just was able to hold on to that puck, the Winnipeg goalie.
Slater given the boot. They have two centers out smartly. Little lost control. Harrison holding onto it, walking the line. His shot off the body, off Slater. Hammered by Zach Bogosian, by Jay Harrison, killing more time.
Winnipeg has had some key block shots, mostly by defensemen here in the second period. We saw Stewart go to the dressing room. They've done a nice job in that passing.
Nick Bain dumps it in, golfed by Bogosian. Played well by Vermistrov. Nick Antropov over the line, holding, shooting one, hung on to by Brian Boucher with only 2 seconds left on the Kane power play.
That's Winnipeg for you. They may be short-handed, but the guy they call Big Buff doesn't hesitate in joining the play. And Bufflin driving allows Antropov to get a clear shot lane in at Brian Boucher, and Boucher makes a nice save. I think he's a forward myself.
You do?
I really do.
Yep.
I do. I thought Rick Dudley had a great idea and maybe surprised a lot of teams with that roving ability of Bufflin last year. Craig Ramsey the first half of the year, but I think long term, I think he's a forward.
At times he was the Chicago Blackhawks' best forward in the Stanley Cup playoffs the year they won the Stanley Cup. As Johnny Oduya plays it out of that corner. That was 2 years ago, but his preference is where he's at right now, but sometimes that's not always right. Scheifele behind Kyle Wellwood. Moving it by Tim Gleason in deep.
It may be his preference, but he just pinches so much. He takes so many chances. I feel pretty confident from my seat in saying I'd prefer him as a forward if I was coaching the team.
Kim Brent back out to center ice, peppering Toby Enstrom. Then Maxwell off a body off Patrick Dwyer, turned in by Mark Scheifele. The 18-year-old throws on the brakes, lays it off for Antropov. It goes deep. Wellwood looking around, centering one, hand on by Antropov, and turned out by Brett Sutter. Now Patrick Dwyer moves it deep. Tim Brent on the gallop, going after it on the forecheck here with Enstrom. So is Brett Sutter. They jam along the boards. Out of the scrum now. Brett Sutter goes to work. Here's Caberlet passing across, broken up by Antropov. Burmistrov, Kane to the front. Shot taken, blocked by Harrison. Now Burmistrov again. Down the wall, Dustin Byfuglien. Inside, Evander Kane, and he was forced by Brian Boucher.
One goal, his first of the year, has completely changed Kane's confidence. There, Byfuglien, a great job as the fourth forward, pinching down on defense.
This guy's been the best player on the ice. Burmistrov's been all over the place.
Again, Canes fans taken just after Jeff Skinner in the same draft. Benefited last year from learning from a great forward defensive coach in Craig Ramsey. Learned that side of the game just as a teenager.
Zach Bogosian, a good look at him. They'll race it through. It goes across. Mark Stewart, after medical attention, is back on the ice. McBain for Stahl. Stahl in tight quarters, sets up Ponikarovsky. Back pressure from Brian Little. Little wins the battle. Out they go. He has Wheeler. Blake Wheeler to the front. Andrew Ladd. Wheeler delays, centers one off a body, broken up here by Joni Pikkanen, and out they come. Here's Eric Stahl. Three defenders back for Winnipeg. It goes to the open corner. Ponikarovsky looking for Stahl. Stahl. After that loose puck in back of Chris Mason. They jam for it. Stahl kicks it ahead for Ponikarovsky. Joni Pikkanen's up in the play. Inside again for Stahl. Stahl to an open corner. Jamie McBain for Carolina. Broken up by Randy Jones, and they wheel it out. It's a 2-on-1. Brian Little with Blake Wheeler. Little holding onto it. Walking out in front. Great back checking. Jeff Skinner coming all the way back defensively. That's great to see. Now Wheeler drops it off. Little and Skinner do battle. Skinner wins the battle, goes to the corner, moves it by Burmistrov, and Carolina escapes harm.
Boy, that is a great progression for Jeff Skinner. Down 5-2, working hard to come back and come back with a purpose and smartly, and then eventually get a puck out with a tape-to-tape pass.
Now it's carried out by Evander Kane, 3-on-2. Nick Antropov, back for Kane, out of the reach of Burmistrov. Alexander Burmistrov goes back to the point. Bogosian looks for a redirect. Good stick by Brian Boucher. Harrison taps it ahead for Yuri Talusti, and out they come. Jussi Jokinen bounces it in on Chris Mason, and no further play. 2:36 left to go in the second period. Mr. Skinner takes a well-deserved break. There are three zones on the ice. To be a complete player, you have to be very good in all three zones, and Jeff Skinner comes all the way back on this one.
Well, look at him just out. He not only works hard, but then he recognizes that it's his job to seal off. I believe that's Little. Great read, good skating ability, and then eventually he's able to win a puck battle with the help of Jamie McBain and make a tape-to-tape pass. And I think last night and tonight have been really encouraging steps defensively for Jeff Skinner.
And the offensive side doesn't suffer. He had a career-high 6 shots on goal last night, 2 points tonight, and that hard work will get you there.
Oh, I'm really excited about what he's done defensively.
Puck is centered. Talusti, Brandon Sutter. One-timer. Gleason goes wide, and Mason never saw it with a screen out in front. Goes by Brian Allen off the official. And off Bon Rody, and now it's cleared in by Tim Gleason. Brandon Sutter fans on a shot. Looks for a second chance. It's chipped out by Chris Thorburn all the way down to Brian Boucher. Under 2 minutes left in the second period. 5-2 Winnipeg. Breaking open a 2-2 game in the second period. Oduya. They move it out. Antropov away for Evander Kane. Kane moving it by Joni Pikkanen. Now Jamie McBain handcuffing Burmistrov. with that puck, and now it's broken up here by Jussi Jokinen. Off Antropov, good pass. Pickett slides it on the target. And a better save by Chris Mason, and now it's played by Antropov. Broken up by LaRose. Moving wide is Jamie McBain. McBain with a shot blocked by Mark Stewart. Chopped at by LaRose. Loved ahead by Stewart. And it's played here by Antropov. That's a hand pass, and we get a stoppage. The Backyard Bistro is the place for Canes Corner, hosted by our good friend Mike Maniscalco from 99.9 FM The Fan. The next one will be Wednesday, November 2nd at 7 o'clock. You can log on to CarolinaHurricanes.com for more details.
As we continue to talk about our spotlight player, he's an opponent tonight, but Andrew Ladd and Jeff Skinner were teammates for Team Canada last spring in the World Championships. Andrew Ladd told us this morning that what he admired most about a player in Skinner that he calls very, very shy is that on the ice, he's not shy at all to go to the dirty areas.
Tuomo Ruutu won the gold medal for Finland at the World Championships. Andrew Ladd over the line in with a shot blocked by Jay Harrison. Blake Wheeler inside for Brian Little, broken up by Eric Stahl. Caberlet had it, and he gets it back, and out they come. Ponikarovsky. Caberlet now goes for the front of the goal, but Ponikarovsky taken down by Toby Enstrom. Out of the corner now as you see it up close. It pops out. Tuomo Ruutu is sealed off by Toby Enstrom. Puck gets loose for Andrew Ladd. He almost turned it over to Eric Stahl, and the Canes now reorganize.
A guy that looks like he's been through 15 rounds.
Wheeler with a steal, a shot turned out by Brian Boucher.
And I mentioned Andrew Ladd. And there he takes a hit to make a play in his own end. Your captain plays through that type of pain. It has a real positive effect on the rest of the team.
Here's a chance, and the pass was in the skates of Brent Sutter, sent there by Tim Brent. 15 seconds left in period 2. Shots are 19 for Winnipeg, 12 Carolina. Played by Tim Brent. Anthony Stewart holding onto it. His pass deflects, broken up by Thorburn. Calmly off the boards all the way back. And a 2 in the books here in Winnipeg. Sellout crowd on their feet. And Paul Maurice will recollect the thoughts of his team between periods. It was 2-2. And the Jets score 3 times in the second period to take a 5-2 lead after 40 minutes. When we come back, we will have the RBC Bank second intermission with Bob Harwood from MTS Center here in Winnipeg on Fox Sports Carolina. Welcome back to Winnipeg, and a second period explosion by the Jets led by Jimmy Slater.
Well, I'll tell you, how about that play, finishing the hit and then allowing Slater to jump in by Tanner Glass. Canes were in the middle of the line change. Here's the toughest break of the night. Andrew Ladd's shot just hit a rut, had some type of spin on a puck, which I've never seen. No chance for Brian Boucher there. And then riding the momentum of a 2-goal lead. Antropov, great work down low, and Evander Kane gets his first of the season.
John Porcelain, Trip Tracy, Bob Harwood, along with our fine crew. MTS Center, first of 6 meetings this season with the Jets. We will be back home on Tuesday night. The Canes will square off with the Ottawa Senators. A week that will see them play not only the Sens, but the Chicago Blackhawks at home Friday night, and then off to Philadelphia a week from tonight. Out to center ice, Yoni Pikkanen's after it, and the Canes are ruled offside. Rex Healthcare is teaming up with the Hurricanes for Cancer Awareness Month. Submit your story, video, or a photo of how you or a loved one beat the odds, and you could win a pair of season tickets. Go to CarolinaHurricanes.com for more details.
Just as it is Hockey Fights Cancer tonight here in Winnipeg, I look down and I see the Winnipeg coaching staff wearing the purple Hockey Fights Cancer ties. That will be the Hockey Fights Cancer Night Tuesday at the RBC Center. So please come out and support.
Great initiative taken on by the National Hockey League a few years ago, and it continues on an annual basis, and Tripp's absolutely right. We hope to see you there Tuesday night at the RBC Center for that terrific cause. Just about a minute gone in this third period, 5-2 Winnipeg, as they broke open a 2-2 game. Carolina scored the first 2 goals early in the first period. 2 power play goals by Winnipeg tied things after 1. Then the 3-goal explosion in period 2 as Evander Kane will go off at a change and get it deep.
And the biggest goal of this hockey game, as I said in the second, was the goal that Wellwood scored with just over a second to play in the first. When you score those goals in last seconds, a lot of nights you end up having a good result.
Tanner Glass in the defensive zone of Winnipeg, and now Randy Jones. Chipped by Thorburn. A foot race. Slater's after it. Gleason guarding him. He'll pitch it by Gleason. He's level. Coming all the way down, Brandon Sutter taking out Jimmy Slater, who's had his share of concussion problems, and he's down.
Oh boy. Well, I think Slater got a lot lower to the ice at the last second. By lunging for the puck, John, that would be the example this year. You tell me from your viewpoint, but that's a player putting himself in a vulnerable position.
Well, he stumbled, yeah.
Yeah, okay, right. So that's something that's mentioned, whether it be in Rule 48 or in the boarding provision. In this case, by lunging for the puck, as Sutter had committed to the hit, Slater put himself in a vulnerable position. We hope he's okay, but I think this is a good example of that, where there is some responsibility on the player that absorbs the hit to avoid that type of position.
Trippy either toe-picked or caught the net on the way through. Lost his balance. That's why he was in that precarious spot when hit by Brandon Sutter. So play will continue. Now Wheeler centers one out in front, broken up by LaRose. Out they come. Stahl approaching Bufflin, crisscrossing with Ponikarovsky, who's offside. Let's go down to Bob Harwood, who has a note.
Well, it's the CarQuest Auto Parts intermission report, Johnny, and it's a conversation with Chris Huffine, the video replay coach, and the assistant coach from inside the room. And what he showed the head coach and the staff is the emphasis on getting the puck deep and really doing a better job of pinning in behind the goal line, especially the Winnipeg defensemen. He said their breakout's been a huge part of why, and their joining the rush has been a huge part of why they've got so much offensive flow. And when they do get pucks deep offensively, use the back of net a little bit more to your advantage positionally. He feels that Winnipeg's collapsing a lot, freeing up some Carolina D-men to join in offensively.
Well, you look at both Carolina goals, Bob, back in the first period. You know, all those ingredients that you mentioned were present. And looking back, maybe getting out to a 2-0 lead on two sort of fluky goals made Carolina think that this was going to be an easy night.
Well, you get reminded, you know, during the course of a season about how you have to play the game. And we've talked a lot on this road trip, and Paul Maurice's team has done a wonderful job of playing the game the right way. Well, you get a stern reminder, you fix it, and move on.
Yeah, and listen, there's a lot of hockey to be played tonight, but I can tell you with absolute certainty, with this schedule, where home seems like a long ways away, if you were to say Carolina will be 3-3-2 at this juncture, you'd take it.
New line combination, Jussi Jokinen, Jeff Skinner, and Tuomo Ruutu. We'll keep an eye on this.
Yeah, I thought it might happen. It's just going to be a flip-flop of Tuomo Ruutu and Chad LaRose. LaRose will slide up with Stahl and Ponikarovsky.
Mason melts it down, no further play. Just about 3 minutes gone in this third period.
Oh, they call him the Justin Bieber of Brawley. The real Justin Skinner. There's which one is Justin Bieber? There's Bieber.
Selena Gomez on the right. She performed here last night, and they're linked somehow.
I heard he was staying at our hotel, and I actually asked Eric Stahl. I said, I can't name one Justin Bieber song, and then he told me about one, the one that goes,
Baby,
baby,
yeah,
baby.
Please, Trip,
and
don't
so
sing.
then I knew that one.
Yeah.
Pretty good song.
That was the key of Z, as in ZZZ.
He's a big hockey fan, Justin
He was
Bieber.
from Canada.
Yeah, I know he's friends with former Hurricane Kevin Weeks.
That's right. They met in the airport. It was last year. It was all over the Twitter sphere, on the old Twitter. And Mr. Weeks made sure everybody knew about that. So Justin Bieber's here. Jeff Skinner's here, who's called the Bieber of hockey by many. Picking it over the line now. Center's out in front. And Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
In Winnipeg. That's nice. Wheeler over the line now. Holding onto it. Off the paddle of Boucher. And on the top of the goal.
Oh. That thing just climbed up Boucher's right arm and nearly went off his back and into the net. Luckily ended up on top of the net. You know, the one good thing about tonight, again, if the Hurricanes aren't able to climb the mountain, with a veteran backup goaltender, none of Brian Boucher's will panic the next time he's in the net. The coaches won't. They won't hesitate to use him because he's had such a strong start and because he has such a proven track record. And that's why it's really important that Justin Peters is in a place right now where he can develop. If he had a night like this last year, I think it would have been magnified.
Charlotte Checkers are playing the Houston Aeros this weekend. They lost a tough one last night. Houston scored 3 goals in the third period. They're going at it again tonight as they double up in that situation. The puck comes all the way back. Zach Bogosian has 2 assists tonight. Brandon Sutter forechecking for Carolina. Puck is there. Yuri Tulusti back to the point. Tim Gleason moves it by Tuomo Ruutu on the cycle. It's Sutter. He's taken down by Bogosian. Ruutu slides it across for Allen. Up top, Tulusti. He lost control. The Jets get it out, and a penalty is called. Holding the stick, I believe, down low. And Zach Bogosian is protesting, but he'll take a seat.
Well, this is the opportunity to throw a little doubt back into this hockey game. Still just under 16 minutes to play, and Rooney makes the call. Let's watch for Bogosian wearing number 4 in the Winnipeg jersey. I almost just said Atlanta again. It would have been 3-0.
Oh.
I didn't know.
Okay.
And there's the play right there. See the hold?
Holding the stick on Zach Bogosian. Carolina now third power play. Shorthanded Antropov with a shot fought off by Boucher. And it comes back out to center ice. Enstrom pickpocketed by Skinner. Skinner went down. He was tripped up. It's let go. Burmistrov will crank it up for Winnipeg. Antropov alertly back, but he almost turned it over. They did. Here comes Stahl. Passing off for Jokinen, back for Stahl. What a save! Mason a dandy. And it's carried out by Antropov.
What an interesting play by Antropov. Nearly leads to Carolina scoring a power play goal. You look back, Claude Noel switched goalies at the right time.
There's time left. If the Canes can score in this power play, they have 65 seconds left to go. Down by 3. Soft pass by Pickenen. Picked off by Ladd. It struck Brian Little. Andrew Ladd gets it back. He'll dump it in.
Well, that was everything but score. That was the type of crisp, quick puck movement. That was on the rush. But whether it be on the rush or in zone, the Canes are looking for.
Gabriellet in on Mason. Route 2. On the change, it's Harrison. Harrison goes deep. Here's Chad LaRose in back of Chris Mason. Defended by Dustin Byfuglien. Ponikarovsky this way. Jamie McBain. He'll dust it off. From the wall, it's Ruutu. Tuomo Ruutu holding onto it. Winnipeg dropping back in that box. McBain with a spinner off a stick over the top of Mason. Dustin Byfuglien gets to it. Right up the gut and out. All the way down to Boucher. 19 seconds left in the power play. Jamie McBain one more time from his own zone. Here's Brandon Sutter. Moving it by Burmistrov, and now Jay Harrison. In the center zone, he'll gain center and dump it in. Brandon Sutter at the top of your screen. Plays it off the glass, goes after it. Enstrom lays it off for Burmistrov as Bogosian's out of the box. Even terms on the ice. Carolina 0 for 3 with a power play tonight with 2 shots. It comes in on Chris Mason. Mark Stewart forechecked by 2 Hurricanes, Sutter and Tulusti. Out of the pile, Mark Stewart has it, the former Boston Bruin. Will send it back. He and Blake Wheeler for Rich Peverley, and that was a big deal for the Bruins.
Boston doesn't win without Peverley's contribution, at least in my estimation.
And I would concur with your estimation. Now Wellwood has 2 points tonight. A very important goal late in period 1. Boucher leaves it for Allen. He handcuffed Brett Sutter. Randy Jones goes deep, broken up by Allen. Aerial flip. Sutter lets it come down. Lead pass for Anthony Stewart. Johnny Oduya with a tight turn. Shoved off the puck by Sutter. Randy Jones off the glass, sealed off by Brent. Kicked ahead by Oduya. Johnny Oduya ahead of Tim Brent. Along the wall, good work by Brian Allen. He'll roll it by Brent. Getting to it is Oduya. Given a shove by Brent on the forecheck. And now some room for Kyle Wellwood, who turns it over. McBain through the middle. Sends it back for Joni Pickenen. 12:27 left in this third period. Stahl this way for LaRose. Chad LaRose for the captain. His shot turned out with a purpose by Mason. Picking inside off a glass support. Loose puck through the goal mouth. Getting to it now and chopping one is Ladd. Good hustle by LaRose. He almost trapped the zone, and now he sets up Pickenen, who dumps it in. Around the boards it goes. Andrew Ladd. Along the wall, broken up by Chad LaRose. LaRose goes to work. To the point, McBain. Inside for Ponikarovsky. Moved off for Stahl. Stahl centers one off a body. Broken up by Randy Jones. And out they go. Randy Jones through the middle. Gains center. Goes off on a change. It's in on Brian Boucher.
Well, going back to what video coach Chris Huffine said, that was utilizing the back of the net as Stahl nearly was able to create a good chance off of a centering pass.
Pickenen now for McBain. Through neutral ice. Open ice for Yoni. Yoni Pickenen's shot stopped by Chris Mason. And it's cleared out by Dustin Bufflin. Harrison ahead of Burmistrov. Jussi Jokinen moved off for Skinner. Now Jokinen one more time. Tuomo Ruutu is onside. He'll get to it. He's hit on the play by Evander Kane. The puck goes deep. Enstrom by Skinner. A pinch by Harrison on Burmistrov. They trap it. In deep it goes. In the trapezoid. Mason lets it go for Bufflin. Turnover. Skinner's on it. He sets up Ruutu. They score! What a pass by Jeff Skinner and a finish by Tuomo Ruutu, and the Canes are down by 2.
With plenty of time. And once again, you talk about utilizing from the tops of the circles down and below the goal line. That's what happens. Contact from Jokinen, support from Skinner, and then the finish from Ruutu. And the little wrinkle, by the way, instituted this period, flip-flopping Tuomo Ruutu for Chad LaRose, ends up being a part of a goal. Skinner keeps making plays like this. No disrespect to the real Justin Bieber, but that Selena Gomez is going to ask for the other Bieber's number.
She might.
She'd have good taste.
Right, all's fair in love and hockey, as they say. Tuomo Ruutu, his second goal. Set up by Jeff Skinner, who has factored in on all 3 goals on his spotlight night. 10:52 left to go. There's plenty of time. It deflects off a stick. It rolls by Boucher. It could be icing. Allen was bumped off the puck, and now it is with Sutter on the touch.
Boy, that was just a beautiful forechecking goal. First man pressure and contact from Jokinen. Support to get to the loose puck by Skinner. And then Tuomo Ruutu with a quick one-timer from the slot. You know, the Canes have been coming on for the last couple of minutes, really dating back to that save that Mason made on Stahl on the power play.
Skirmish off the draw and a hooking penalty. And the crowd is moaning. And the Canes will get a power play. 10:42 left in this third period. Tuomo Ruutu starts a comeback. Starts at the grassroots level. Let's go way back with Jeff Skinner.
At least he's wearing skate guards in the house here.
Yes.
That's good to see. Look at that stride, already textbook. And I can tell you, getting a trophy. Very humble as always. When he was 4, his sister Jillian took her first steps walking at 2. And Skinner, his parents were both working, they're both lawyers. He called his mom and he said, "Mom, Dad," he's 4 years old. He said, "Jillian just walked for the first time. When could she start playing hockey?"
There you go. That's what it takes. Mark Stewart has gone for hooking. Power play ensues for Carolina. And this is a big one. Caberlet across now for Pickenden. Thomas Caberlet will think about it. He's guarded by Burmistrov. Here's Jussi Jokinen. The juice dangling. Now Caberlet again. Jokinen shot fought off by Mason. He spits out a rebound. Stahl goes after it. So does Skinner. Eric Stahl along the wall. Lays it off for Jussi Jokinen. Nice pass for Caberlet. Indirect pass finding Jokinen. Inside for the captain. He'll dangle here away from Enstrom. Now from the half boards it's Jussi Jokinen. Jokinen all the way back up top. Caberlet holding. Wristing one off the outside of the goalpost on a deflection. Now Skinner along the boards. Out muscles Burmistrov. It's dug out by Jokinen. They fight for it. It squirts out. Caberlet, a good job to set up Jokinen. 50 seconds left in the power play. Here's Caberlet now, playing it along the wall. Jokinen walks, turns away from the pack, sends it back for Caberlet. Now Pickenen looks it over again. One-timer Caberlet is faked. Here's Jokinen out in front. Mason said no. What a save on Stahl. Then he recovers on Skinner. Oh, goodness. Chris Mason, a couple of huge saves. Now it comes across for Jokinen. Jokinen holding onto it. Inside for Stahl. Stahl delays. The pass is picked off. Cleared out by Burmistrov.
Well, about as good looking of a power play as you're going to see without scoring. Caberlet almost with his first as a Hurricane. And then the continued possession. And boy, just desperation in front of Mason to keep this a 2-goal game.
Mark Stewart will take a deep breath, and he will come out of the penalty box now. And with it is Tuomo Ruutu. The Canes are still only down by 2 with 8:35 left to go in regulation time. Through the middle of the ice with speed, it's Ruutu. They stay? No, they don't. Chad LaRose did his best, but he could not stay onside. Chris Mason did not start this game, but he will finish. And he came up with 2 incredible stops. 35-year-old Chris Mason off the bench in relief. A little bit of post time, good fortune, then 2 big saves.
Look at this hit, Antropov, and Mason was completely beaten, and it catches the post. Now we'll see an overhead look coming up of just how close the Canes came on the follow-up chance off of Burmistrov. Oh, what a stick play by Mason. He has come in relief. You know, he really first established himself as an NHL goalie as a backup in Nashville. And then he became the #1. Very likable guy. From Nashville to Atlanta, he spent some time in St. Louis. He's been a popular goalie wherever he's been.
Now Patrick Dwyer given a jolt by Tanner Glass. It's cleared on a play by Ben Maxwell. And we get a stoppage. Tonight's winner of the Rex Text to Win contest is David Johnston of Raleigh. Thanks for entering, and we'll be holding this contest during every telecast in October. Go to CarolinaHurricanes.com again for details.
Well, Paul Maurice, this is a lot of trust in the fourth line as time is becoming a factor, and the Canes are coming. The Canes may not have scored, but they have all of the momentum right now, and Maurice shows trust in this fourth line.
They have outshot Winnipeg 7-2 in this third period. Brent. Stewart, and a penalty. Tim Brent, I believe, will go on the forecheck. And it'll be Anthony Stewart. My apologies, Anthony Stewart, first in, gets the gate.
Well, that's a tough one.
Carolina penalty number 13, 2 minutes cross-check.
Let's watch it here. Oh boy, I think that's a bit of an off. That's a bit of a tough bounce for Stewart. Now, from that angle, you can see what the referee was seeing from ice level. That's 2 offensive zone penalties by wingers on the fourth line. Sutter in the first, and Stewart here in the third. That's tough.
A power play that is 2 for 4 goes to work. Bufflin inside for Wheeler. Give back now for Dustin Bufflin from the boards. Blake Wheeler out of the reach of Bufflin. Bufflin now at center. Lays it across for Blake Wheeler. They'll set it up again. Carolina, Patrick Dwyer, Brandon Sutter, Tim Gleason, and Brian Allen out to kill it off. Quarterbacking here is Toby Enstrom. A couple of head fakes, and now Wheeler broken up by Gleason. He'll wait, kill a couple of seconds, and clear it in on Chris Mason.
Well, Canes, who already have a couple of shorthanded goals this season, they could use another one right now. And keep your eye on 16, Sutter, when he's on the ice.
Canes have 2 shorthanded goals, both on the road, and now it's Wheeler. Broken up by Jay Harrison. Off the boards, played by Bufflin, furthered by Brian Little. Andrew Ladd lays it along the wall for Toby Enstrom. The bouncing puck, they settle it down. Ladd, nobody home out in front. Bufflin has it at the point. Angling one deep. Harrison golfs at it. Top of your screen, Enstrom forces. Ladd in control. One-timer, Bufflin! Tipped wide by Wheeler. Broken up here by Pickett, who broke his stick. Ladd, Blake Wheeler holding, delaying. Centering one across, off Pickett. Stahl is hooked, and Brian Little will take a seat.
What an effort by Joni Pitkanen. Stahl draws the penalty, but he's not able to do so. If Joni Pitkanen, who had lost his stick, did not make a heck of a skate play. There was an initial chance on a tip, I believe, from Wheeler. But watch Pitkanen here. He had broken his stick. He did right at the tail end of that replay. Then he makes that skate play, and Stahl does the rest.
So now in 36 seconds, Carolina will have the power play. 4-on-4 we go. Puck is loose along the boards for Mistrov, pressured by Ruutu. Tuomo Ruutu goes to work. He goes down. Play continues. Ponikarovsky tries to wheel it out in front, but it's picked off by Oduya, and a penalty is called for interference. Chris Rooney makes the call up top, and they're moaning and groaning here at MTS Center.
Going to be a 5-on-3 in 19 seconds as Antropov guilty of that interference minor. Burmistrov had lost his stick. And there you see the hit away from the play by the big former Soviet prospect. He's from Kazakhstan, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
And that's away from the puck. I mean, this is a golden opportunity. 4-on-3 for 19 seconds, then a 5-on-3.
Face-off win by Stahl. Pickett holding onto it. Joni Pickett lays it off for Jeff Skinner. He gets it back. Pickett now up top for Stahl. Stahl away from Burmistrov. Skinner in the corner. This way Jokinen, a punch shot blocked by Enstrom, hammered by Stahl. Blocked again, rebound loose. Fought for. Stewart had that second block. Pickett's lost his stick. It's cleared out. They have to be careful on the change. Anthony Stewart hesitated. Caberlet was coming on, but everything is okay downstairs. Jokinen through the middle. A pass that comes all the way back. This will be icing against Carolina.
Two huge blocks, one by Stewart, one by Enstrom. And head coach Claude Noel has seen his defensemen block pucks very effectively. Enstrom isn't the biggest guy. He did that with timing and quickness. And then Stewart, you remember, left a game blocking a shot in the second period. Does it again.
5-on-3 with 66 seconds of the front end of the little penalty, and then the overall 5-on-3. You see the time. As now it's carried out here by Pickett through the middle. Stahl moving up on Stewart. They'll throttle it in. This way, Caberlet goes after it. Back to the point. Skinner rolling puck. They settle it down. Caberlet again. Pickett goes wide. One-timer Caberlet stopped by Mason. No rebound.
Good chance. Well executed play. Thomas Caberlet has come close a couple of times here. I like the fact that the power play is not standing around. Look at all the movement. Look at that little seam drive by Skinner and that little trail drive by Caberlet. That was a good chance.
Off the draw, a lot of hooking there, and it's broken up by Bogosian. It comes all the way out. 30 seconds left in the 5-on-3, 46 on the overall power play. Cranking it up is Joni Pickett. Good pass for Stahl, but the Canes are offside. A collision between Jeff Skinner and Jussi Jokinen forced the offside.
And I'm trying to get a gauge on just how tired the Hurricanes players are. Pitkinen's bent over a little bit. The reason I say that is this is the game right here. I would think Paul Maurice might consider his timeout just to be able to maximize the remaining portion of this 5-on-3.
He'll keep it in his pocket for now. Off the face-off. Skinner over the line, defended. Loose puck. He's after it. Skinner's in. Good poke check by Mason. A loose puck. He'll cover. Boy, Jeff Skinner took matters into his own hands. He almost got it done on his own accord, if not for Mason.
Yeah, he almost got it done on his own accord, and even after Mason surprised him with a heck of a poke check, I still think Jeff was maybe able to get a stick on it to nearly slide it underneath him. Watch here. Oh no. He makes the poke check, and then athletically, he's practically lost his stick, Mason, in the process, and reaches Dominik Hasek style with his blocker to hold on. What a play by Skinner.
What a night for Skinner. Back to the point. Caberlet, one-timer, Pickett fought off by Mason. Jokinen fanned on the rebound. Back it goes. Joni Pickett now will shoot one. Answered again by Mason. Rebound stopped by Mason. Off Caberlet. Loose puck. Another penalty will follow. As Kyle Raymond has his arm up. Winnipeg will go down again on a hooking call out in front. Antropov still has 7 seconds left to serve.
Boy, Chris Mason show. Fans at home can't be upset about the quality of chances that Carolina has gotten on the 5-on-3 and now the 5-on-4. Caberlet's probably had 3 alone. And watch for the hook. It already happened. You saw it. You see the referee at the top of the screen with his hand up. This is a huge face-off. But Chad LaRose is taking this draw. Interesting.
And he wins it. Harrison. One-timer McBain, it goes wide. Antropov is out of the box. Conventional 5-on-4 for $1.50. And the Canes still have their timeout. Just about 16 minutes gone in this third period as McBain carries out. He'll wrist it in. Around the boards it goes. Golfed at by Bogosian. Ponikarovsky. Route 2. Ponikarovsky back for Harrison. Now Jamie McBain. Jay Harrison can't handle it. Broken up by Brian Little. Here they come. Over the line, short-handed. Boucher makes the save, and it's worked wide by Andrew Ladd. 1:19 left in the power play. You see the skirmish up close. Harrison's pass detected by Zach Bogosian. Killing more time.
Claude Noel, coach of the Jets, pulled his goalie down 2 goals in Ottawa with several minutes to play on Thursday night. Down 2 goals. Let's see when Paul Maurice pulls his.
Now it's cleared in. Boucher's gone. 3:09 left to go in this third period. 2-man advantage for Carolina. Skinner walks it. Heikkinen. This way, a tough pass for Jokinen. He's defended by Oduya. Stahl, a give back for Sutter. Broken up by Burmistrov, who clears it out. 35 seconds left in the power play. 2:49 left to go in regulation time here in Winnipeg. Heikkinen through the middle. Steered ahead by Stahl. Mason out to play it. He'll wrist it himself. Caberlet reads the play. Gets it back from Jokinen. Thomas Caberlet. Jussi Jokinen fans on a pass. Stahl down low. Off the side of the goal. Gloved by Stewart. Not out. Jokinen for Heikkinen. Here's Caberlet. Here it comes. Tipped by Stahl. Mason makes the save. And he hangs on.
Well, he has just been a fortified wall of defense. Mason here in the last 10 minutes. The guy that he began his third period sparkling stretch with on Stahl. Remember back that transition chance with about 15 minutes to play. Here he makes the tip save chance, and he's able to hold on. Well, the Hurricanes have shown no surrender in this game whatsoever. You have 2 players, Skinner and Sutter, on the offensive side of the puck, which made Mason accountable to be able to hold on for the whistle. He has been super.
LaRose on the draw again. Boucher back in goal. Route 2 out of the corner. Enstrom's out of the box. Even turns on the ice. Breakaway, Toby Enstrom. Boucher said no. 2:08 left to go in regulation time. Antropov goes deep.
Good for Brian Boucher. He has not been busy at all. Enstrom out of the box. Old school stand-up save.
Puck is cleared in. LaRose gets there. No, he didn't. Icing is called. $1:53 on the clock.
Well, Chad didn't put up a huge argument. I thought from here that it looked like he did get there to nullify that icing call, but the Lionsmen have the best seats in the house, and they're rarely wrong.
Shots are now 24-23, and that favors Carolina. The power play is 0 for 7. Back to the point. Jones, wide of Boucher. Evander Kane, Ben Maxwell now for Winnipeg. Tied up. Blake Wheeler goes deep. Now a loose puck. Tuomo Ruutu for the Canes. Finished off and separated from it by Kane. Here's Wheeler. Blake Wheeler moves it wide. Given a shove by Caberlet. He stays with it. Blake Wheeler holding onto it. He'll grind it along the boards. Working the clock. Oduya upended. 1:17 left. Winnipeg continues their push. Caberlet lays it off for Ponikarovsky. And now we'll keep an eye on Brian Boucher. Tuomo Ruutu out to center. Boucher is gone. It's cleared over the top of Chris Mason. 62 seconds left here at MTS Center. Now Oduya over his stick. Evander Kane broken up by Eric Stahl. A loose puck out in front. Forburn not out. Carried by McBain to an open corner. Jussi Jokinen for Eric Stahl. Now down low, a penalty is called. Randy Jones was hit high with a stick. from UC Jokinen, I believe. And Carolina will be penalized.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. This capacity crowd is on their feet. They probably can breathe a sigh of relief, but the Hurricanes, with their effort, and it's been steadfast, made this one very, very interesting. Let's watch for the high stick of it's a follow-through type play, but referee would still determine that even though he's following through on a pass, he still has to be responsible for the stick. Canes will go home, take the day off tomorrow, and they might work on their 5-on-3s a bit on Monday before Ottawa Tuesday.
Bufflin over Meestrop. Jokinen for high sticking at 19-13. Bufflin now at the point. Toby Enstrom with a half minute. All the way across, handcuffing Vermeestroff. Now Antropov in back of Brian Boucher. Enstrom, good stop by Boucher, and it's cleared out at the defense. It was a double minor to UC Jokinen for high sticking. As blood was drawn, the sellout crowd on their feet in Winnipeg. They'll count it out. They're looking for their second win of the season, their first over Pittsburgh back on October 17th. The Canes will come home and take on Ottawa Tuesday night. The Canes will go to 3-3-2 in the young season. They surround the relief job by Chris Mason, who gets it done as they defeat Carolina 5-3.
I was critical of the way that head coach Claude Noel manages goalies this week, playing Pavlik in 2 games in Ontario against Toronto and Ottawa. Well, he adjusted to that decision, and I think really in a lot of ways changed the whole momentum. Pulling Pavlik very quickly. Mason was great. The goal that Wellwood scored with a second and a half to play remaining in the first period that made a 2-1 game 2-2, I think was the single biggest turning point. A great push by Carolina late, but great goaltending was able to survive it.
Now let's take a look at the Timberland play of tonight's game. It was the goal scored very late in the first period on the power play by Kyle Wellwood.
A very disciplined Carolina team took 4 minors in the first period. Watch there, a little push off by Buckland. Nice little pass by Antropov. And literally, as time was about to expire, Wellwood scores. And what was a 2-0 game 10 minutes earlier was now 2-2 going into the intermission.
Final count, the Winnipeg Jets 5, the Carolina Hurricanes 3. Our next telecast will be Tuesday night. Hockey Fights Cancer Night at the RBC Center. The Ottawa Senators in town. Hurricanes Live kicks it off at 6:30. Hurricanes Live, the post-game edition right after this on Fox Sports Carolina.